We interrupt this transmission to bring you the following live broadcast.
The mics weren't on. Oops. Well, anyway, it's the ThinkSoJoe Show! Scott Leffler's here.
Hey, hi, how are you doing?
My boss is here, and I've already fucked up 5 seconds into the show.
I'm telling you, you've been on the edge so far because we get continual complaints about you.
I'm aware.
Every single week I get complaints about you.
I'm aware. I've also seen a complaint asking for YouTube to cancel things you might not know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, that is. It was directed at YouTube on Twitter. Like, are you serious right now?
That's kind of rude.
Like, it's funny when you do it when you say, hey, at Scott Leffler, take me at ThinkSoJoe.
Right.
But like, come on, that's just, that's just mean.
That's a bit
to
much, yeah.
tweet YouTube and be like, hey, you should take this show off the air. I put a lot of work into that shit.
Yeah, I can tell. I've been enjoying it.
I sit here for like 5 hours every Monday morning, just like finding sourcing images and whatever to put in there. And,
right.
Made those nice new lower thirds for the closing credits. Thought those came out really well.
Really?
I was doing those instead of a 77,000 word book job that I waited till the last possible second to do.
But the amount of time it takes you to put together your video really kind of makes you appreciate your clients, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I know what now it's like, okay, well, now I know what they're up against trying to do these videos, that they're hiring me to do. And it's like, okay, cool. I can deal with sitting in a hot booth for hours at a time recording the same script over and over again.
Yeah, me too. I have, in the last week, I've done the same script 4 times for 4 different clients. So, word for word, exact same script.
So I have one client. They send me 11 scripts at a time.
Uh-huh.
They are all almost identical except for like the first few paragraphs. But they're different enough
that you can't,
where I can't just copy and paste.
Ouch.
So it's like, okay, but it's fine because I get paid. They send me scripts. They're due in 3 days. I finish them. They send me new ones immediately.
Right.
And it's a $115 job.
Cool.
I'm not complaining about getting $115 every 3 days. So
no, you really can't.
Yeah, no, and by the time you get through it, it's like you get this rhythm going where it's just like, okay, I got this. So sitting there today, and I was doing one this morning, trying so hard. Like I got through the first few paragraphs, the ones that are all completely different than the rest, and I'm like, all right, cool, I got through these without fucking up. I'm gonna get through this without making a mistake. The first common line that's in all the videos, I fucked it up. Like, you gotta be shitting me right now. So yeah, that's, so I'm sure I've said this on the show before, but, Scott wants to be just like me.
Oh yeah,
Scott wants to be.
Well, that's why I'm growing the beard. Can you tell?
Yes. Well, Scott wants to be just like me, and I'll tell you, I got into doing voiceovers. Scott got into doing voiceovers.
Just for a point of clarification, I've actually been doing voiceovers for about 15 years.
Okay, well, I started doing voiceovers on Fiverr.
All right, fair enough.
Scott follows me into voiceovers. I go back to working at the hotel. Scott, no, you were already working back at the hotel. You were at the hotel before I came back, before I left, actually.
But I did follow, but you got me in there.
Me.
Yeah,
I did get you in there. And now I've quit the hotel, and you put in your 2-week notice the day of my last day.
Yeah, but you knew that I was on my way out the door before you quit.
I did.
In fact, I'm partial to thinking that you might have quit ahead of me. Oh shit, Scott's quitting. I gotta go first.
I don't know.
Or I'm never gonna get out of here.
Maybe subconsciously, because you were just telling me that they have asked you to stay on longer than you were anticipating.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully you get what you want out of that deal. I mean, I knew you were quitting because, without you even telling me, because you had already gotten everything you wanted out of that job.
Yeah. Well, the fun thing is, all right, so I work in an office in Niagara Falls where I do voiceovers all day. I don't talk to people. I don't see people. The only time I actually see people or talk to people is when I go out to have a cigarette once in a while. There might be somebody outside smoking. Other than that, I'm pretty much in front of a computer all day. I email people back and forth. I instant message people, but there's no I spend all day talking, but there's no communication whatsoever. I'm a people person, so I love the hotel because I get to talk to people.
And that would explain why you were like, hey, I'll drive out to Buffalo to do your show, just to drive straight back to Niagara Falls to do more work.
Well, yeah, yes. There's that. I like getting out. I like doing things
for sure.
And I've never been here before, so I thought I had to come check it out.
Welcome. I have not been in your current office.
Still,
I have not been in your current office. Somebody had mentioned that to me the other day, and I said they were surprised that I have not been in your office that you have right now.
So the current office makes the old office look like a cave.
Right. That's what I've seen it on the Nick and Dan show.
Yeah.
So
it's plush. I like it.
I've seen it. It looks nice. It was already set up for you to
pretty much. Yeah, it was
everything you wanted, and you had a projector screen, so you went out and bought a projector. I followed you into the projector game.
I did notice that.
I followed you into the projector game, but we were just talking before we went on air. That thing is either going back or I'm getting my money back.
Well, the one I have in my office isn't great, but it works.
Right.
And that's all. I just want it so that, like, honestly, you know what I really want to do? I want to invite a bunch of people and watch movies.
Sure.
I want to maybe get a popcorn machine and just have like an all Western New York movie night.
That'd be nice. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Also, because my Roku goes into it.
Right.
Like, we could watch anything on it. I have my YouTube TV on my Roku, so anything that's on YouTube TV, plus, all that other stuff, we could watch pay-per-view shit. It'd be fun.
Well, I've got the Roku, my old Roku, hooked into it because this thing didn't come with an HDMI port as advertised.
Yeah. So that'd be problematic.
I'm kind of pissed about that.
Yeah, I just have a Roku stick plugged right into it. Boom.
Yeah. I would like to be able to do that, but this didn't come with the it advertises an HDMI port, so I'm like, okay, cool, this has everything I want.
Right.
Like, there is a little bit more powerful one for like $100 more on eBay, and I'm like, but this one's only $60.
Right.
and as is true with most other things, you get what you pay for.
The funny thing is, like, I am almost never afraid to pay more, even a lot more, for certain things. But then there are other things when I'm like, do I get the good tuna fish or do I save 20 cents? And so I always save the 20 cents, and then I open the tuna fish, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? It was 20 cents.
See, Karina and I were having that discussion the other day. We were at the store, and she went to go grab one of those, like, those bags of, like, cereal.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm buying the bag of cereal. Like, no, buy the real stuff.
Yeah, get the box of cereal.
Yeah, she's like, well, there's more in here. I'm like, I understand that, but, like, the other stuff's, like, the real stuff.
Right. And it really is better. There are a few generic cereals that, honestly, I can't tell the difference.
Sure.
But for the most part, no, I'll take the name brand cereal.
Sure. And I'm the same way. I prefer the name brand cereal. Like, it's just not the same to me. I mean,
right.
Like, she wanted to get the generic Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm like, no.
Right.
We are not doing that.
There are a few things that I have to get, like, the name brand. Like, I need name brand cheese. Why is my phone ringing? No one even knows I'm here. I have to get real cheese. And I've learned my lesson with this a few times. That's when I was like, oh, this cheese is 20 cents less. And I'm like, it doesn't even taste like cheese. Like, I don't even know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I can only eat Jif or Peter Pan peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
And and like pop. Like, I can't have, like, WPOP. I need Coke. I despise Pepsi. So it's either Coke or Dr. Pepper.
Once you started working at the hotel, the Coke was always the fridge was always full of Coke and Pepsi because there's my Pepsi and your Coke.
Right. I don't like Pepsi. You don't like Coke. So yeah, there's always a little bit of both. And then the other day it was full of Guinness. And then the Guinness was gone, and I had nothing to do with it because I don't like Guinness. But I was kind of surprised because we have leftover beer all the time in the fridge there.
Sure,
never goes anywhere.
So, funny story is when the girl that replaced me, her first day working, she was working with my former manager, your current manager for the time being, and she was thirsty, and he just reached in the fridge and grabbed her something. And she started drinking it. It turned out to be a spiked.
Yes, one of those fruit drinks.
Right. It was like
seltzer.
He didn't realize that it was not. He didn't realize it was alcoholic.
Right.
So I'm like, I heard that story, and then I saw him the next day, and I said, Bob, I heard you tried to get the new girl drunk. So yeah, but yeah, that fridge is always full of some kind of alcohol.
Yeah. Like right now there's like a few Coors Lights in there, but like Coors Light.
Who the hell's going to drink that?
Yeah. There are very few reasons that I would drink Coors Light most of them are brunette.
My phone's going off right now too. I don't know what it is.
All right, maybe.
It's Mark. He says, have a great show. He's back in the 60s tonight with the Beatles' Yellow Submarine, which is playing at a local theater, I believe.
Cool.
Somewhere. That's pretty cool. He did message me the other day. He sent me this picture here.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, he messaged me telling me he wasn't going to be able to listen live. And it's like, oh, man, Scott's going to miss out on seeing all those great male asses that we get every week on the show.
And yet I didn't, so thanks for that.
Yeah, well, he sent that yesterday. So it's like, all right, he was kind enough to send it. I had to be kind enough to relay it.
All right. Well, I appreciate it or something.
Anyway. But yes, so, yeah, beer, or whatever we were talking about.
Right. Well, all right. So I'm looking at your computer screen. You've got Twitter up, and the trends in the United States. The eighth one down. Hashtag CRO versus ENG. So England lost to Croatia
Apparently
in the World
so.
Cup. Like, how does that even one? Croatia's a real thing.
Yeah.
And didn't England invent soccer? Aren't they required to win?
This is trending 3 times because there's the 8th one, there's the 2nd one,
and the first
one.
Yeah,
are all trends for England versus Croatia,
and that's the United States trend.
Those are the United States.
I think
trends.
it's about every 4 years the United States does get into soccer a little bit.
I agree, and then as soon as the United States is out, it's like, okay, we can all stop pretending now.
Right. I actually do like soccer to a degree. I know a lot of people don't like it because there's not a lot of scoring, but I enjoy watching it more so than like baseball. Sure. Even though there's more scoring in baseball, it's just, to me, baseball moves slower.
Sure.
I can appreciate soccer, but of course, it's not hockey.
Right. That's what I've been doing in between chapters of this book was like I was playing NHL on the Xbox, just like I miss hockey. I had to I lost a game and Robin Leonard gave up 7 goals. I'm like, you're out of here, and I picked up Carter Hutton's might as well get a jump start on next season.
Have you played or are you familiar with Fortnite?
No. I've done voiceovers about it.
I've done a ton of voiceovers about Fortnite. I got this one client, the name of the client is Draw My Life, right? And he talks about a person, and while he's talking about them, he sketches their face and all this other fun stuff. And he's sent me all of these scripts about these dudes that are making millions of dollars a month playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
Obviously, I took a wrong turn. So, I mean, we're doing okay.
Yes.
But, Fortnite.
My kid was really into Minecraft, when during its popularity.
Right.
And not so much anymore. She's kind of bored with it. But, she would sit there and she would watch all these YouTubers that they do nothing all day but sit down and play fucking Minecraft and record it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they've got way more followers than I have on YouTube.
Yeah.
So they were definitely making some money.
Well, and then, so apart from YouTube, there's, what's the other one?
Twitch.
Yes, Twitch, which is specifically for games.
Yeah.
And, you have to, subscribe and, you pay these people directly for the privilege of watching them play. It's the weirdest thing. I feel like the world is upside down sometimes lately.
Sure.
And that's one of those things. Awesome, good for them. I'm happy for them. But it's I feel like playing video games. I feel like I had a teacher at some point in my life who specifically told me you can't make money playing video games.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all back in those days had teachers that said that. But
I was like, man, I was ahead of the curve.
People are proving them wrong, I guess.
I was too far ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I mean, I sit here and I do all this production and everything, putting it into and things you might not know. Why am I not just playing Super Mario Brothers badly and hey, watch me fail at this video game?
Right.
And the thing is, I've been meaning to contact the people I need to contact in order to be able to do a video about the song "Hey Man, Nice Shot" by Filter.
Right.
And it's how come I need to call Warner Music Group and probably pay them some kind of licensing fee, I would imagine, if I want to use a 10-second clip of a music video. But these people could sit there and post 30-minute video game videos.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some kind of copyright thing that they have to go through or whatever, but I mean, like, I would really like to do this video, but I really would not like to do this video without the copyrighted material that I would need to illustrate.
Right.
Which would be fair use, but...
Yeah, depending upon how long, like, YouTube is specifically, like, dicey. So every podcast that's done on every show that's done on All West New York Radio is podcast on All West New York Radio, and all of our podcasts automatically get uploaded to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Within, like, 5 minutes of uploading these videos, almost every single video, I get an email from YouTube. A copyright complaint has been filed against your video. And it's like, you don't really need to do anything, but this video is not going to make any money. If it was, it's going to go to this person.
Well, yeah, and that is basically why I don't want to use anything from Warner Music Group, because
all right, even local stuff? Like, it happens on your show all the time.
I know.
Like,
I'm aware.
Because CD Baby claims the copyright.
Yeah. We're going to play Dredneks. You'll get that today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know Yellow Sauce. I played them not too long ago. I saw the copyright claim because I have the access to the YouTube for when I'm posting. When I do actually get around to posting videos from our live events.
Right.
Which next Saturday there's a live event. We're not going to talk about it too much because we're going to talk about it a lot next week. But next Saturday, live event with XM Priory headlining. It is essentially their CD release for From Darker Tides in the Buffalo area. They did one, an excellent one at Niagara Falls. You and I were both at separate times.
Yes. Well, I waited until you left. I sat there and I was like, Nick, let me know when Joe leaves. So Nick texts me. He's like, he's out. I'm like, all right, I'll be right there.
We had to wait on an Uber. We were standing outside with Yellow Sauce in between sets. My ex-wife is sending me pictures. I don't know what they are.
Hopefully they're not of naked men.
I doubt it. What's
Nobody's...
Oh boy. My kid is wearing a half shirt.
They're of half naked teenagers.
Uh-huh. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Speaking of kids, my youngest had her graduation party on Sunday at my ex-wife's friend's house. And so I go out to Lockport, actually like past Lockport, and like which is weird because like in my mind the world ends at Lockport. There's Lockport and then there's like I don't even know what's past there. There's nothing. There's like the world ends there, and there's no reason to go to Lockport really, with the exception of the fact that my ex-wife and kids live there.
Right.
So I go to this graduation party, and my mother is there, and my oldest daughter, who is now 21, is doing Jell-O shots with her 77-year-old grandmother. Oh my! It was just and my daughter made like this punch, which was mostly vodka with like a little bit of like watermelon juice in it.
That's kids these. Well, that was kids in our days too.
Yeah, but it's just funny. So it's my 18-year-old's graduation party.
Right,
Meanwhile,
right.
my 20-year-old is like, let's get everybody drunk. My 18-year-old wanted a bounce house, so we got her a bounce house.
I saw the picture.
I got her a bounce house. Jackie paid for the food. I paid for the bounce house. And she wanted all breakfast food. So it was like there was bacon and sausage and ham, and like there was like an egg bake thing, and we ate at 4 p.m. It was basically just like breakfast. It was pretty
Scott
awesome.
Stole
actually,
the waffle irons from work.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh man, I do not miss making waffle batter, dude. Like,
no. Well, there's a woman that makes like there's like
I know.
There are people that do specific things now. It's really weird. I don't understand.
This is what I don't get is they hired a guy right before I left whose job it was to do laundry.
Right.
But there was less laundry done when he was working there than before we had somebody doing laundry.
Yeah, there's a good reason for that.
And I used to walk in and I'd make fun of you or John or whoever was working if they were doing laundry. Like, that's not your job.
Right.
You're not gonna catch me doing any fucking laundry.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, unless I'm getting like a laundry person's paycheck.
So when they hired someone to do the laundry, I stopped doing laundry.
As you should.
Right.
And like, okay, now there's actually a guy. Now it's actually not your job. So now, yeah, don't do the fucking laundry.
Right.
Is he? No, he's not sending more asses. Okay. Good. Anyway. So anyway,
So now that it's somebody's job to do laundry, there's not as much laundry.
Which is crazy. Like there was always like stacks and stacks and stacks of towels.
Yeah.
And now I walk in there, it's like, why is there only like 2 stacks of towels?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? I don't understand how that works. But yeah, I met the breakfast lady.
Yeah.
A couple of times, like she started maybe like a week or two before I left.
She's a sweetheart. I like her a lot.
Oh yeah, no. And when I punched out, she said, "Oh, you're done." I said, "Yeah, I'm done totally. Like I don't work here anymore. See ya."
Right.
And she said, "Oh, that's nice. Okay." You know, she was very very kind, very nice. So yeah, but as far as I know, she does her job.
She's very good.
I would imagine she's got to be better than that laundry guy. I really don't understand how.
Well, so now, believe it or not, I don't know if you know this, we have 2 people doing laundry.
Really?
There are 2 employees whose job it is to do laundry.
Great.
I don't get it. I don't even know. I can't even right now.
Yet they haven't hired your replacement.
So there's a guy that starts tomorrow.
Oh.
We'll see what happens. They have hired a couple people, but
okay.
Whoever it is that does the hiring isn't very good at it. Because like we've had these people and they've worked and I've been like, no, you're not going to work out at all.
Yeah.
Who in God's name thought you would work well as on the front desk? Meanwhile, there's this girl in housekeeping who I think would be phenomenal on front desk. She's personable. She's friendly. She's nice. She's very cute. She is exactly what I look for when I go to a hotel. Wait a minute. That might have come out wrong. Or it might have been exactly what I meant. Anyway, and I've been like, you should really transition her to front desk. She'd be great. And they're like, no, we need her there. And it's like, I feel like anybody can clean a room. Mm-hmm. I feel like front desk, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a dick.
So, but yeah, no, but the girl that took over my job, I had put in my 2 week. And, well, I didn't even put in a 2 week. I said, I'm here while you need me.
Right.
But don't need me for too long.
Yeah.
And so I'm standing there with our, with John, our former coworker. Anybody that used to listen to the show that previously occupied this time slot may remember John, who had stopped into that particular program a few times with me. But I was standing there with him. I
can't see John on radio. Did he say words?
Yeah, John said words.
Huh, all right.
But yes, so but we're standing around and this girl walks in and she says, "Hey, are y'all hiring at all?" I said, "As a matter of fact." And she says, "Well, I used to work overnights at the Super 8 on Sheridan, and I'm looking to work overnights now." I'm like, "Here's an application."
Yeah.
And sure enough, she got hired. She got the job and she took my place. Just exactly how I envisioned it when she walked into the door and said, "Hey, can I have a job?"
Right.
It's weird that you're walking in at 11:30 at night because I had to figure out where the applications were.
Yeah,
who comes in? Like, nobody comes in that late at night looking for an application.
Right.
But she came in. I'm like, "Here, fill it out. Bring it back. Talk to Bob." But yes, John actually did speak on the show that previously occupied this time slot.
I'm kind of surprised about that.
It wasn't about it wasn't about anything really spectacular, I'm sure, but he had filled in a few episodes.
I'm just looking at your pop filter.
Oh, my pop filter. This is the expensive one.
I can tell. I like it.
Yeah, this one cost me like $25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radio geeks should get them together like, "Oh, what is that?" Like, I'll show you yours, or I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
I thought you were looking at the picture of Colt Cabana on the wall.
No, not interested in that. I do like the Beatles.
Okay, that belonged to my ex-wife. She must have forgot it.
See, everything that belonged to my ex-wife still belongs to my ex-wife, and everything that belonged to me belongs to my ex-wife.
My ex-wife is still getting mail here, and her mother. And I was
your ex-wife is getting her mother here?
No, her mother is getting mail here.
Oh, gotcha. Right, that makes sense.
So, I was, early on, I was like, "Hey, you got mail here," and then she unfriended me on Facebook. So I'm like, "Now I don't give a shit if you have mail here."
Right.
So I was just kind of letting it pile up, and I think Karina was throwing it out.
Right. When I lived in Tonawanda, I would occasionally get mail for Jackie and Ellen, my ex-girlfriend.
Sure.
Neither of whom ever lived at that address.
Right.
It made no sense to me, but I would get mail for both of them. And I was dating someone else at the time, and I would just leave their mail on the table because it pissed her off. We had this love-hate relationship thing.
Sure.
And so whatever I could do that would subtly annoy her, I would do tenfold. Like if somebody gave me their number, I would just leave that on the dining room table.
Nice.
Just so she'd see it.
So I get this package for my ex's mother, and I'm like, it looks important, so I'm like, I don't want to throw this out, so we just kind of let it sit there for a couple of days, and finally I was waiting for a package, and the mail carrier showed up, and I said, hey man, can you do something about this? Like, this person hasn't lived here in like 5 years.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, just, write on it, doesn't live here, and I'll take it back. Like, okay, so I pulled a marker out of my pocket, wrote doesn't live here, handed it back to him. He said, yeah, just if you get something, just leave it. So it's okay, cool. So now anytime I get something, like, how hard is it to change your address?
Not that difficult.
Yeah, no, you go to the post office. You don't even have to go to the post office.
Yeah, you can do it online.
Yeah, you can do this shit online. You do not have to go to the post office. So, like I don't understand, I let her go for a couple of years without changing her address. Now it's like, you know what? If you're going to get mail here, I'm not accepting it. It's going back.
Yeah, I'm charging you rent for your mail.
Yeah, right. And it's like, I mean, it got to a point where it was like, I need to clean up shit around here. So, if you want the rest of your stuff that you've left here, come get it. And she was like, oh, no, if it's still there, I'm not getting it. Like, okay, fine. So, like, when Karina moved in, she found a bunch of clothes, and she's like, I don't like your ex-wife, but I like these clothes.
I can just picture Karina going, why do you have women's clothes?
No. She
Karina, we need to have a conversation. Here's the thing.
No, that's your show.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
That's your show.
Which, by the way, now that I'm no longer going to be at the hotel, I can actually do my show again.
I was going to say, how long? It has been a while since you have not worked on Monday.
It's been a couple months. So my plan is this coming Monday to do a ball blaster. Here's the thing. In which I bitch about everything that's bothered me over the course of the last 2 months that I haven't, like, that's my ventilation. Like, that's how I like unwind is I just, scream into a microphone for an hour.
Sure.
I haven't been able to do that. I've been too busy talking about, ancient Sumerians and shit.
I definitely enjoy my podcast time. So it's been, it is very therapeutic.
So next Monday, here's an announcement. Next Monday, here's the thing, returns to All Western New York Radio.
Cool.
So, and my hope is that it will be both Here's the Things. Because Here's the Thing is also the name of my YouTube channel.
Right.
And what I've been doing is putting the audio from the YouTube videos into the show as like commercial breaks, fillers. Because the audio stands alone.
Right.
Kind of like the cheese.
Right. We're doing, I won't be home to listen to it. I have Monday Night Raw tickets on Monday.
Oh, yeah?
At
KeyBank?
At KeyBank. And they just, they have taken Ronda Rousey out of the advertising for this particular episode of Monday Night Raw.
Oh.
Which, like, I saw coming a month ago.
Right.
Because, like, the on-air story is she is suspended for 30 days, which would end after Monday. So it's like, okay, well... but they were still saying, like, oh, she's going to be back to Raw after Extreme Rules, which is this Sunday night. And now apparently she's not advertised. I actually just shared it on Facebook. I said, hope anybody that was going to Raw wasn't going for Ronda Rousey, because she ain't going to be there, apparently. Huh. We'll find out, I guess.
Or she is, and it's just a surprise.
Right, exactly.
Because it's WWE.
It is entirely possible. But the good thing is I actually paid for this one, like, straight up instead of going through, like, StubHub.
Right.
So if they announce, like, oh, if you want your money back, you could get them back now. Like, cool, I'm going to get my money back and come back to my good seat that I bought, It was like, I don't even know what compelled me to buy Monday Night Raw tickets. I went to a house show a couple of months ago with my buddy Adam from Syracuse. Karina was supposed to come with me, but she got a gig,
right?
So she wasn't able to go. And it was like, all right, cool. I'll find somebody to go. And then I couldn't find anybody to go, so I ended up sitting by myself, which was great. Because, like, okay, if this kid on my left annoys me, I could just move to the seat to my right, But which wrestling fans do annoy me.
They annoy me too.
That's Hey, I can deal with certain wrestling fans, but a lot of them annoy me.
Speaking of finding somebody to go, you might recall a month or so ago I had mentioned I had Bare Naked Ladies tickets. I was trying to find someone to go with me. You're like, oh, I'll go with you. I'm like, no, not unless you're putting out. The good news is I didn't go alone.
Good.
Well, the funny thing is, while I was there, I ran into my ex-wife, who has finally met the girl that I've been dating for the last 2.5 years.
Great.
And the girl that I've been dating for the last 2.5 years is like, that was awkward. I didn't think it was. Jackie's super chill. She's always really so. Like, I didn't think it was awkward at all, but
it's not awkward for you because at this point it's like, hey, this is my friend,
right?
Instead of it's more of like, this is my friend than it is like, hey, this is my ex-wife. But you still introduce as your ex-wife because it's
actually, you know what? I fuck up all the time.
Yeah.
You know how I introduce her?
Oh, your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make it awkward.
We've been separated for 9 years now.
Yeah.
And I still refer to her as my wife. In fact, when she was walking up, I said, hey, do you want to meet my wife? And she's like, what? I'm like, ex-wife.
Ex-wife, yeah. Well, that would be why it would be awkward. It's not awkward for you because you guys are friends.
Right.
It's awkward for her because, like, oh, shit, this is, the ex. You know?
Now, before we were actually divorced, when she was actually still my wife, although we were separated for like 2.5 years.
Sure.
I used to, when I was on the radio, would tell stories about my wife and my girlfriend and would make sure to interweave both phrases. Like, oh, so I was talking to my wife about my girlfriend or my girlfriend. Just because it was AM radio and I like fucking with people.
Right.
So that was kind of fun. Oh, by the way, if you have any complaints about the language on this show, you can mail them to ThinkSoJoe at noonefuckingcares.com.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable email address.
I like it.
So let's get some. So the Dredneks are playing. They're playing Tuesday night at Mohawk Place, opening for the Goddamn Gallows.
Nice.
And it may be one of their last shows for quite a while around here. They are going through some lineup changes, and also Nick Myers, the bass player of the Dredneks, has just injured his finger severely.
Oh.
And he is apparently going to attempt to play both their show this weekend and their Tuesday night show next week. Now, I am definitely planning on being at that Tuesday night show next week. I think everybody else should be too, because if you haven't seen the Dredneks, it is a blast. It is an incredible experience, and we're going to play a song from them right now. This one is called Human Parasite on All WNY Radio, ThinkSoJoe Show. Any second now. There it goes. All right, a little Dredneks on All WNY radio. My mic just does not seem as loud as it actually is, but I think that's because I just turned my headphones down, so I'm going to turn them back up now.
Hello.
Yeah, Scott Leffler, All WNY founder here in the studio.
Hi there.
What's going on?
Hey, just doing my thing.
I saw you were researching.
Yeah, well, I was trying to figure out my favorite Lauras.
Yes.
Because I know you have a fan named Laura, and, I'm going to be honest with you, and I've told you this off air. I might have even said it on air. I kind of have a thing for her.
Sure.
I know that, you really can't see her in her photo on Twitter, but, she looks like the type of person who would be cute.
Sure.
And I actually love her, witticism. Our politics align pretty well. Aside from the, several thousand miles in an ocean, I kind of feel like, we might hit it off. But I was thinking, is she really one of my favorite Lauras? So I've been thinking about all right, what Lauras do I really like to see where she fits. And so I started coming up with a list of my top 5 favorite Lauras.
Sure.
Now, obvious, if you know anything about me, if anybody out there knows me at all, my favorite Laura ever is Laura Palmer.
Okay.
Twin Peaks. If you've never seen Twin Peaks, watch it. Watch the first season, then watch the second season, then do some acid, then watch the third season.
Didn't you do a Twin Peaks themed costume for one of our events?
I did. I don't remember which one. It might have been Halloween.
Might have been. I don't remember. I remember you did that, and
yeah.
It was sitting in your old office. I'm sure it's still in your new office.
Yes. So I did do a Twin Peaks themed costume for, I think it was Halloween. I am a Twin Peaks fan. Have always been a Twin Peaks fan. It is a very unusual show. Now, the reason I say do acid before watching season 3 is because the acid will actually counteract how fucked up the show is, so it'll seem normal.
Sure.
Because if you watch it completely sober, and not on drugs, you'll think you're on acid. so you have to reverse engineer the sobriety, if you will.
I got you.
So it is a phenomenal show. The gist of the show, for those of you who are way unfamiliar, is it takes place in Oregon, Twin Peaks, Oregon. Twin Peaks, Washington. Sorry. Those two states are interchangeable in my mind. Kind of like Jessica and Jennifer. I can never keep those two straight, which has caused all sorts of problems. I actually met a really cute...
He's thinking about it. The look on his face right now.
I'm pretty sure it was Jessica. A couple weeks ago. Anyway, no, it wasn't a couple weeks ago. It was a week ago today. It was July 4th. So yeah, those names are interchangeable. Washington and Oregon, also interchangeable. Missouri and Mississippi, equally changeable.
That one I'll agree with.
Anyway, so the show is about the murder of this girl, Laura Palmer. She dies before the show starts. But it's 3 seasons, and the first 2 seasons were back to back, and then the third season was 20 years later.
Right.
But it's a phenomenal show. Laura Palmer, probably without a doubt my favorite Laura ever.
Now that third season, that was a Netflix thing? Was that?
No, it was Showtime.
Showtime, okay. I literally...
In fact, I got Showtime just for the sole... Never watched anything else on Showtime. I got it for the sole purpose of watching Twin Peaks.
I was in my kitchen this morning, and Karina said something about, you should drink this orange pineapple drink. It'll quench your thirst better than the Pepsi. And I made a Waterboy reference. And I said, I really want to watch that movie right now, but I don't own it. So I went on Just Watch, and I found that it was on Netflix, which... as of this morning, I didn't have. I signed up for Netflix just so I could watch The Waterboy.
I understand.
So if anybody wants to suggest to me things to watch on Netflix besides The Office, because I'm going to finish watching The Office now.
I signed up for Netflix Super Bowl Sunday just so I could watch Cloverfield Paradox.
Okay, yeah, I remember seeing the ads.
Yeah, and it dropped on Netflix as soon as the Super Bowl was over. I was like, Netflix is the one thing I don't have. I have Hulu, I have YouTube TV, I have Amazon Prime, so I have Amazon Movies, I have Vudu, I had everything there was, but I didn't have Netflix. I'm like, well, so I got Netflix, I watched Cloverfield Paradox, I still have Netflix. Super Bowl was 5 months ago.
Right.
I don't think I've watched anything else on it.
Yeah, and that's always been my problem with Netflix. That's why when I got
which means that thus far I've paid about $50 to watch this movie.
Right. I literally, I got a 30-minute or a 30-day free trial. 30-minute free trial is like what AOL used to give you back in the day. back in the early days of
when
the
they
internet.
gave you free coasters.
Yeah, when they gave you free coasters. Did you know? Maybe I should save this for a YouTube video. But did you know that at one point, like, more than 50% of the CDs being produced in the world were made for AOL?
I did not know that, and you should definitely delve into that further and make it an episode.
Maybe I'll send that to my scriptwriter because I still haven't come up with a topic for next week.
Gotcha. Right, because you're all fancy and shit. You hired a scriptwriter.
I did. She did an excellent job. I had to make some corrections, but nothing major.
Right.
It was just, a number got juxtaposed.
Isn't it really cool paying people to do things that you used to do?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Like, I've been paying somebody to write news for All West New York News.
Nice.
And
it was definitely I'd been looking into hiring somebody to write my scripts for a while, and this woman just shot me a message one day, and she said, "Well, these are services that I'm going to offer," and I was like, "You know what? I might look into your script writing," and I looked, and that's the only gig she's got up right now, and she says, for $5 she'll do 500 words with topic research.
That's insane.
Like, nobody does topic research for $5. Like, let alone 500 words.
Right.
So I'm just like, my videos are averaging about 500 words anyway.
Right.
What the hell? Let me order.
All right. So
what's the worst that's gonna happen? I order once and it's terrible.
Right,
and I don't
yeah.
order again. She did a great job, and I'm gonna hire her again. I mean, it was just like I said, it was just a couple of things where
just think about the amount of time you save.
Yeah. Oh,
so
sure.
So my new strategy in life is to think about how much time something costs me and then decide what it's worth.
Sure.
So I'm trying to remember where I was the other day, but it was a matter of saving. I saved half an hour and it cost me $10. And to me, that's a no-brainer. I will pay $10 to save half an hour all day, every day.
Oh, sure.
Because I can make more than that. So if I can make more than it costs me, it's disadvantageous for me to,
Sure. And the thing was, when I was writing my own scripts, I was doing them at the hotel.
Right. Which made sense because there are things you can't do there.
Right. I can't sit there and record a voiceover there.
You cannot.
I've got equipment now where I could.
Yeah, but it wouldn't sound good.
No, it probably wouldn't. And I wouldn't do that to them anyway. I've had that discussion before.
I actually, while I was at the hotel once, I had somebody that requested a revision and needed it in an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I did? I called into my office, recorded it from the phone onto my computer at the office, then edited it from the hotel, and then sent it from the office.
Oh no, yeah, because you were using the screen mirror
right,
thing,
which
right? Yeah.
which works brilliantly.
Yeah, I actually.
You know what doesn't work brilliantly? Doing a voiceover by phone.
I would imagine. I would imagine that.
So the client was in this huge hurry, and they emailed me back as soon as I sent it to them. They're like, "This is shit," and I'm like, "I told you I wasn't in my office."
Yeah, right.
But you needed to have it immediately, so that's what you get.
So I bought a handheld recorder. It's by Zoom. I trust their products. They make the camera that I've been shooting the videos with for All WNY, and the sound on those has been phenomenal. So I bought it secondhand. It's an older model. But it had everything I wanted, which was XLR inputs on it, and the microphones that are built in are good and everything like that. And the main reason I got it was so I could take my karaoke mics that we're going to be using at Warped Tour, plug it right in, and I can record right into it,
right,
in the field. Come back, plug that into my board, and have an instant segment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is great. And so, but I also bought it with the intent of if I'm out of town, I can plug into that and I can make a makeshift booth, out of a closet or something.
Right.
Or whatever. And just be able to plug a regular XLR mic into it and record. And still have a decent quality output. I would imagine.
Have you tested it?
I have.
And
it sounded fine. Like if I didn't go through the whole process. Like I didn't put it through my DAW or anything like that. But but my main reason for that is like I'm like, why am I going to record on this when I'm home? When I've got this preprocessor that takes out all my noise and everything, whereas like I can hear all the noise on this,
right?
And then I have to take it out in post, which is fine. You know what I mean? It's just like I will do that like in a situation that calls for it,
right?
But I don't need to do it here. So I'm like, all right, it sounds fine. It would sound great if I put it through my DAW and ran all the effects. You know, no.
So why not just record directly into like a laptop?
That I would prefer to go through my board. I'm not sure I understand your question.
You're just talking about so if, all right, for example, a couple months ago,
I don't have a USB microphone. That is why I can't record directly into a laptop.
You don't need a USB microphone
to get no, I'm saying but I don't have, I have my board.
Right.
That I can plug my mics into.
All right, but you're talking about being on the road.
Right.
My question is, if you're on the road, why not just plug a mic into the laptop? Because you could take that mic, get an XLR to USB.
Sure.
Because when I'm on the road, that's what I do. XLR to USB into my laptop, into Adobe Audition, record. Now it doesn't sound like I'm in a studio because I'm not in a studio, sure. And no amount of post-processing is going to fix that, by the way.
Basically you just have to stop the echoes from coming back into the mic.
Well, so I've been shopping on Amazon, among other places, but Amazon is where I started, for a portable booth.
Right.
Which is basically just like a foam box.
So I saw a guy do, he had a Blue Yeti. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I owned a Blue Yeti. But he had a Blue Yeti. You loved that Blue Yeti. I liked it for, doing the podcast outside.
Right.
But for anything else...
Did you get rid of it? You said at the time.
I don't have it. I sold it for... Sold it for
crack.
Sold it to Dan Twist.
Definitely for Dan Twist crack.
Sold it to Dan Twist and I got a new board, which was going to be the board I was going to use at Warped Tour. It's actually still in the box.
Right.
And then we were going to replace this one in the studio with that one. But then we got some news today about the Warped Tour gig that's going to basically necessitate me bringing this one.
Right.
Which is still fine because I'm still going to probably use that new one for...
Now, the funny thing is, I used to have this board, and I sold it to Dan Twist.
Great. Yeah, I've used that board in your studio. So, but this guy had a Blue Yeti, and he took one of those storage bins, and he just lined it with foam and put the Blue Yeti right in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. And that would have sounded fine if he wasn't using a Blue Yeti.
Right.
There's
I've thought about building my own.
Yeah, it would be cheaper.
I'm just not sure I trust, a generic version. I
understand.
I would rather pay, again, we're in one of those situations. This is where I'm willing to pay extra money to have it be right.
Sure. I on the other hand, am a very DIY person. That's why I bought the stuff to make T-shirts, and I, did my own studio, and all the, set up my own podcast equipment and all that stuff. I'm a very DIY, hands-on, let me fucking do it. Because if I do it, I know how it's done, and I know, it's on me if it's not good.
Right. See, I know the same thing, and I don't want it to be on me.
I don't mind it.
If it's not good, I want to be able to blame someone else.
I don't mind it. I'd rather.
Here's the thing: Joe screwed up. I didn't do this.
Right. I don't mind screwing up if it's going to save me money in the long run.
Understood.
So, but that might not be true when I go to do the T-shirts. Because my whole plan was, Karina and I were going to order T-shirts for the show. Like ThinkSoJoe Show T-shirts to wear at Warped Tour just as promotion.
Right.
And people got wind of that because I probably said something in passing on Facebook, and they're like, hey, we want one. And it's like, well, here's the thing is it's going to cost us $17 per T-shirt for such a low quantity because we're not going to get 50 or 100 made.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we don't want to pay that much, but we want a t-shirt. If you could get it to less than 15, we'll take one. It's like, well, let me see what I can do. And then it got to the point where it's like, maybe I can ask Dan and Nick to do one.
Right.
Because they do all the XM Priory t-shirts and all that, and I don't know how much they would charge me for it or whatever, like if I supplied the t-shirts and the paints and whatever. And I'm like, if I'm going to go that far, if those guys can do it, I can do it.
Right.
So that's the plan.
Ryan and Dennis do their own too.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah.
You're wearing one right now, as a matter of fact.
I am, in fact, yes.
When you showed up wearing that, I thought you were going to their show after the show.
No, I didn't. No, I got to go to work.
I am also, I've been up for 2 days working, so I am likely not going to the show.
So this morning I worked from 7 to 3, which I hate because I hate mornings. But
now, did you also work 3 to 11 yesterday?
No, because I took yesterday. I usually do. I usually work Tuesday night and then Wednesday morning, and that is bullshit. No, I took yesterday off so I could go to the Bare Naked Ladies show. Right. But no, so I worked this morning at 7, so I had to get up at 6. But that's the latest I've gotten up.
Yeah, no, I understand.
In the last 4 days. Because the 3 days prior, I got up at bedtime. I got up at 2:30, 3:30, and 3:30, respectively.
There is a lot of times where I will be working and I will go to bed as Karina's getting up.
Right.
Which yesterday was like Karina worked overnight Tuesday. It was Monday. She worked overnight Monday. She came home and went to bed.
Right.
I had a book to do. So I had a book to finish. So I finished I'm up all night working on this book as she's at work. She gets home, she goes to bed, I'm still working on this book.
Right.
I finished recording the book and then had a 10-hour audio file to edit.
Uh-huh.
Took me 7 hours to do.
Uh-huh.
Delivered the thing 5 hours late, 6 hours late, something like that. Knew that my next 2 jobs were going to be a total of 15,000 words. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bed. And as soon as I went to bed, which was 7 p.m. yesterday, she was getting up. I'm like, our schedules are still clashing somehow.
Yeah.
And neither one of us have what you would call a traditional job.
The other day I woke up, I want to say it was at 3:30. And I woke up, the first thing I see is you on Facebook. You had posted 3 minutes prior, time for lunch. It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, my friends keep some really weird hours.
Well, I had mentioned earlier that I was taking some time out to play NHL 18 in between chapters.
Right.
So at one point I was sitting in there doing a chapter and I'm starving. I'm like, I need to eat. So I'm like, fuck, all right, let me go out, let me find something to eat. I have a fridge full of food, but nothing I feel like making or eating.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, so I'm standing in my kitchen trying to figure out what I'm going to eat, and I'm like, lunchtime, what's going on in the world? Well, actually, no, I posted that. That was the next day. I posted that. I had posted the 3 o'clock in the morning one, I don't know what I want to eat. I ended up having a grilled cheese sandwich.
Right.
So,
I have all this fruit. I have a fruit bowl in the office. I keep fruit there because I'm trying to eat healthy. And so I'm like, oh man, I'm really hungry. I'm like, I've got 4 oranges and 3 bananas. And I'm like, I really wish I had some cheese. Because eating healthy is not easy and I don't like it at all.
The thing for me is we have a fridge full of food. I've never had a fridge full of food living here. Because I'm too damn cheap to buy a fridge full of food.
Right.
I will eat pasta and macaroni and cheese every day if I have to not spend a lot of money at the store.
Mm-hmm.
Since Karina's moved in, my grocery bill's been $80. But it lasts a while.
Right.
As opposed to $30 and it lasts me a weekend.
Right.
And so I have a fridge full of food and then she'll buy food when she gets paid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's we have so much damn food in the house, but it's nothing that it's just okay, I can just grab this and go eat in the studio.
Right.
It's I have to cook this or I have to microwave this. And if I have to microwave, then I have to go turn the air conditioners off in the studio and in my bedroom because it'll whatever you do to a circuit.
Right.
it'll pop the circuit. So I'll have to go downstairs and I'll have to reset the circuit, and then I'll come up here, and then whatever work that I didn't save because I'm an idiot is gone because it knocked out my computer. Because I'm stupid and I don't have a UPS on it.
Huh. And whatever you record on doesn't autosave?
It does, but like I have to actually go in and find the autosave.
Oh, okay.
So it's which a lot of the times it's not an issue.
Right.
I had one today. The girl says, "You did an awesome job. Can you do me a favor? I want to change the name of the company. How much will you charge me to do the whole thing over again?" I said, "I'm not going to do the whole thing over again." I said, "I will go in and I will edit where the company name is because it's only in there twice.
Right.
Like, and I'm not going to charge you for it because that would be stupid."
Right.
And I went to pull up the file, and apparently when it asked me if I wanted to save when I closed it, I hit no.
Oh.
Like, oh shit. So luckily I had the MP3 still. I'll just drag that in. Like, all right, I'll fix it here. But yeah, no, I'm awful at saving things sometimes.
Huh.
Like I have to like Premiere will autosave at points.
Right.
And I will be like, oh shit, that's a good idea. Yeah, let me save this.
Right.
Because like I don't want to be halfway through editing a video and have to start over again.
No.
The good thing would be that I would have all the stuff.
Right.
But I would have to put it all back in, and that's just a pain in the ass. You know, so finally I am starting to learn my lesson about making sure I save stuff. And it all saves to the cloud too, so it's like I have it backed up.
Dude,
it's there.
I'm going to blow your mind. There is no cloud. It's just other people's computers.
I'm aware.
Oh. The internet is a series of tubes?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And Al Gore invented it.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Al Gore is also afraid of Man Bear Pig. It's a South Park reference.
Oh, no. I used to like South Park, and then it just lost me.
I sat and I binge watched South Park a few seasons ago, so I am like far behind again.
You know what my favorite South Park is? Before it was on Comedy Central.
Like the Jesus and Santa.
Yeah, the Christmas cards.
Right. So you were talking about baseball and how much you dislike baseball. I went to I went in the bedroom. Karina had South Park on. And it was this episode where the kids are on the Little League baseball team, and they keep winning, and they're like pissed off because they're so bored playing baseball, and it's taken up their whole summer.
Right.
And they're like, we don't want to play this stupid game anymore. So they start trying to throw games against other teams in like the the regional finals and the state finals and everything. And they're like, but they keep winning because the other teams are doing the same thing. And Stan's dad, Randy, he's the drunk guy who gets into fights at all of his kids' Little League games.
Okay.
And eventually, spoiler alert for a probably ancient episode at this point, he ends up getting them disqualified in the state finals so that they don't have to go on and play baseball all summer. Hey, screensaver. That means we haven't touched the computer in like half an hour.
Yeah. That means we should probably play a song.
That does mean we should probably play a song, which is in this browser over here.
Ta-da!
We're going to play, I just saw these guys this past weekend.
Hey, wait a minute. I know that water tower. I hate that water tower.
I just saw these guys this past weekend. They were on a great punk show down at Tudor Lounge, opening for City Powered Radio, who just put a new CD out. On the Cinder were on that show, and Rad Ops. And I bought 3 t-shirts at that show and a CD. I spent some money. After the Vanilla Ice show. We'll talk about the Vanilla Ice show.
Yeah, when we come back, we'll talk about Vanilla Ice.
But we're going to play a song first from Shambles. This one's called... Whoa, there's still the Dredneks playing. See, my boss is here. I have to screw up.
Oh, right, because you don't screw up when I'm not here.
I don't.
Trust me, I get direct messages.
You get DMs about how bad
she slides into my DM to be
nice,
Joe's horrible.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure. I do fuck up a lot on this show. It's true. This is a song from Shambles. It's called Rut-Rah on All WNY Radio, ThinkSoJoe Show.
The society you with. You're right, Betty, on your listing. As long as you keep playing this game with your eyes closed. finally decide to stay, you realize to stay where you want to be. They're the shepherd, you're just a sheep. You want to be treated like an animal. You're the animal. You're a fucking pig. When you finally decide to stay, you realize to stay where you want to be. They're the shepherd, you're just a sheep. You want to be treated like an animal. You're the animal. You're a fucking pig. When you finally decide to stay, realize to stay where you want to be. They're the shepherd, you're just a sheep. You want to be treated like an animal. You're the animal. You're a fucking pig.
Shambles on All WNY Radio, the ThinkSoJoe Show. I'm going to close that window now. Ooh.
Good idea.
Look at me being professional.
Woo.
Anyway.
All right. All right, stop.
Collaborate and listen?
Yes.
Yes. So, you and I were both at the Vanilla Ice show on Saturday.
The funny
You were
thing is-
not expecting to. You were not expecting to be.
No, I wasn't. Well, because, one, I can't read a calendar.
Sure.
I thought, I mentioned earlier that my daughter's graduation party was Sunday. For some reason or other, I thought it was Saturday.
Right.
Didn't realize that I had my days wrong until the day before. So I'm like, oh, cool. I can go to the Taste of Buffalo. I can go see Vanilla Ice. So yeah, I was pretty excited to be able to go.
Yeah, you also told your boss you were busy.
Well, because I thought I had my daughter's graduation party.
Right. And then you posted and we commented hey, we're here too. And
Yeah.
You're like, where are you? And we're back by the sound booth. We're taking off after he plays Ice Ice Baby, which is not which is not the end of his set.
Right.
And we knew this going in. We had that planned out. We're like, okay, he's going to play these songs and he's going to play Ice Ice Baby and then he's going to do a bunch of covers. Let's take off after Ice Ice Baby and go to Tudor.
So is that what you ended up doing?
We took off. We went to Mighty Taco.
All right. Sorry.
And then we went to Tudor.
So I got to tell you, you missed a great time.
I'm sure I did, but I mean, it was. I also had a great time at Tudor Lounge. I have a story.
If Vanilla Ice ever offers to MC a party of ours, he's in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he put on a really great show for what I was there for. But I did indicate to Karina that I wanted to kind of see the Trues this week.
Right.
Specifically because I want to go see somebody at Canal Side who's not saying, hey, do you guys remember the 90s?
Yeah.
Because Vanilla Ice did that an awful lot. And Wu-Tang did that a lot.
Really?
Like Method Man. Yo, y'all remember the 90s? This song came out in the 90s. Y'all remember the 90s?
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, if you got your movies at Blockbuster, put your hands in the air. Yeah.
Yeah, right. We were talking about that on the podcast, on the wrestling podcast the other day, because it was the day after the show. And I was saying, like, yeah, you know, if you ever wore a fanny pack, throw your hands in the air, or whatever. And somebody says, oh, if you ever rented a movie at Blockbuster, like, he actually said that.
He did.
Like, you're not wrong. He actually legitimately said that. Like,
yeah.
It was a hell of a show. It was very fun. I am glad that I went.
I have never in my life seen an artist invite everyone on the stage.
That was great.
Like he said, like, if you want to come up on the stage, come up on the stage. There must have been 50 people on the stage.
Oh, yeah. No, it was great. And I'm like, you know, if I wasn't leaving, I'd probably go.
And so with a stage full of people, Vanilla Ice says, we got more room. Come on. So security starts kicking people off the stage. So he's like, fine, then I'm getting in the audience. So after you left, he did the rest of the show from the audience.
Yeah, I saw a picture that he posted on Twitter, and I know two of the people that were in the picture.
Really?
Like
he posed for selfies with anybody that wanted to. Like, he was really great. Like, for a $5 show, it was a brilliant show.
Oh, I feel I got my money's worth, and I was hanging out towards the back and planning to leave.
Right.
Like I enjoyed it. I didn't like that DJ that performed before him.
I kind of did.
I didn't.
I really liked the opening band.
Oh, they were incredible. Dwayne Gretzky out of Toronto. Believe it or not, we are praising something from Toronto.
That is really weird.
It is really weird.
And we're praising something named Gretzky.
Yes. Well, I mean, nothing wrong with Gretzky.
I don't like Gretzky.
Okay, you don't like Gretzky. We disagree on this subject.
Yeah.
But the band was incredible.
They really, like, their mix of music was pretty good. The lead singer was just incredible because he sounded like Bowie, and then he sounded like three different people. Like,
we walked in and they were doing a Sledgehammer.
Yes.
And I just thought, like, somebody was playing it over a stereo. Like,
yeah.
I didn't realize there was a band on stage until we got over there. It's like, wait a minute, these guys are actually playing this.
Yeah. They had 10 people in the band.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that band was created just so they could get into concerts.
That you might be right about that. They did an excellent job at almost pretty much everything they played. There was a couple of songs maybe they should have steered away from, I think, personally.
Yeah.
Which Africa by Toto, I think. And nothing against the band doing it. I think the sound guy didn't think to turn the female vocals down on that.
Right.
Otherwise, I thought it would have been really, really good. Like, once they hit the chorus, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Something's off. And I give them all the credit in the world for having the balls to play Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Like, they did a really good job at it. They weren't shooting for perfection, you could tell.
Right.
But who is?
Right.
But they did a really good job at it, and that takes balls to play that song.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, also they played Under Pressure.
Yeah.
Which I thought was
I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was interesting. It's like, oh, I wonder what Vanilla Ice thinks of this.
Whenever, all right, so if I'm out somewhere in a bar, for example, and that song starts, I'm always wanting it to be Ice Ice Baby.
We have had this discussion at a bar.
And then when it's Under Pressure, I leave.
Yeah, we have had this discussion at a bar. Scott is not a big fan of Queen.
I don't dislike Queen. I just don't like Queen.
You're not a big fan of them.
Right. I personally, I don't get it. Like, other people want to like Queen. That's awesome. That's cool. But I don't get it. And like, if Queen's on the radio, I'll look for something else.
Sure, I understand.
But I'm not like, oh my God, I hate Queen. There are some bands that I'm like, I can't listen to this band. Queen's not that. I just,
Like, that's like Led Zeppelin for me.
Oh, see, now I love Led Zeppelin.
See, but if I hear Led Zeppelin,
but not Stairway to Heaven.
And that's the only song I like by them.
How are we friends?
But seriously though, like, if Led Zeppelin is on, I can tolerate it. I'm not going to go out, like, I own their greatest hits, but I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to it. Like, if it comes up on the random album shuffle on my phone or something, I might listen to it.
Right.
But I'm not, I'm not absolutely like, ooh, I have to turn this up. I have to listen to this. Like, And like Pearl Jam is like that for me too. Yeah, I know. How are we friends? Right? I have this whole thing with like singers who can really sing really well, who
But don't.
choose.
Yeah,
Right,
you
but
mentioned
don't.
this, yeah.
But don't, and that is Eddie Vedder does that, and like it's just it bugs me to no end because I wish I could sing like these people could sing, but they choose to not sing well, like or sing in a different style than what would suit them. I don't know if
Right. So back to Vanilla Ice for a minute.
Yes.
Because at the show you mentioned he did 3 original songs.
But he didn't do the original versions of of 2 of the originals.
Right.
Which was I knew he wasn't doing the original Ninja Rap.
Right.
I thought he was going to do the original Play That Funky Music, but he did not. He modified that a little bit.
Right.
But I really like the style that he did all of his songs in.
Yeah. So then after that it was covers for the rest of the night. He sang covers.
Right.
And so maybe after you left, maybe there was 4 or 5 more songs. It wasn't a long show.
Sure.
So, but Vanilla Ice had a concert, and it was mostly cover songs. Last night when I went to Bare Naked Ladies, Better Than Ezra opened for them.
Yeah.
And they did mostly covers.
Really?
And I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Because like they did a couple of their songs, and I only know a couple of their songs.
Sure.
But then they also did like a whole lot of like there's a song, and I'm like, is that live? And it was. And I'm like, all right, I don't even understand. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. So I guess that like these musicians from the 90s come back and play other people's music.
I saw live last year. They did all originals. It was all stuff mostly from.
Wait, was it actually live?
It was actually live with Ed Kowalczyk.
Because I thought Ed Kowalczyk wasn't with live anymore.
Ed Kowalczyk is back in live.
I didn't, because I've seen Ed Kowalczyk.
So Ed Kowalczyk's back in live, and he was fucking terrible.
Really?
And I like live. So like when I saw that they were opening for Guns N' Roses, it's like, ooh, this is gonna be a good show. Despite the fact that we're like a mile away from the stage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I that's not a thing I enjoy. But it was like, all right, this will be a good show. And then like Brian and I are just sitting there like, this is not that good.
Right.
And then Guns N' Roses just came out and killed it, so it made it up for it.
And that's what you paid for, so.
Exactly. But I was just very surprised by how not good their set was. Just they played all the hits, they just didn't do them well.
So in the past week and a half, I've actually had a semblance of a life.
Wow.
Which I have not had for like months.
I wish I could. Well, I guess I went out to a concert and I went to another concert right after. So
I went to Ohio for 2 days.
Yeah.
I've been to 2 concerts.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
Like it's I had spent months basically stuck in my studio. I was either stuck in my studio or at the hotel.
Yeah, I understand completely because that's why I had to get out of the hotel because It's like I didn't have enough time to be in my studio, and you were experiencing that as well.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, like I have this big job due, but I have 2 nights where I can't do it.
Right, because I'm making $11 an hour.
Yeah, I was making a little more, but that's neither here nor there.
But not enough more that it was worth.
No, exactly. I mean, if I have a book job,
and by the way, if you're making $11 an hour, good for you. You make that cheddar.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But if you get to make more than that, choose making more.
I can't agree more. I am absolutely with you. Like, I'm delivering jobs late because I have to work, and like I can't work on them at work except for maybe editing.
Right.
And the internet at work sucks. It really does. It's very slow. And so like one night I was like, okay, yeah, I'll send this file to you tonight. I'm going to edit it when I get to work and I'll send it to you.
Right.
It took me an hour to download the fucking file.
Right.
Before I could even edit. And then again, of course, it took forever to upload once I finished. So I was like, okay, well, I expected to have this to you a couple hours ago. It wasn't like a deadline that I absolutely had to meet or anything. It was just like I told the guy I would have it to him,
Right, yeah.
So I wanted to get it to him.
Because you want to be true to your word.
Sure.
Completely understood.
Sure, yeah. No, if I promise somebody something, I intend to keep that promise.
As well you should.
Yeah, that's, as well anybody should.
Speaking of promises, I promised to list my 5 favorite Lauras.
You did. Go ahead.
My second favorite Laura, also from Twin Peaks, by the way, Laura Dern. Now, in addition to being from Twin Peaks, she was also in the last Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Which wasn't that great. Like, it didn't suck, but I didn't love it either. Now, were you forced to watch the last Star Wars movie?
Which one was the last one?
The Last Jedi?
I have not seen that one.
No,
yet.
was it The Last Jedi? Should I don't even... You know what?
I'm behind on Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I have, what is The Force Awakens or whatever that one was.
All right, so yeah. So it was The Force Awakens, then it was Rogue One, which I loved. Then The Last Jedi, and actually, technically, the last Star Wars movie was Solo.
Right.
But the last Star Wars movie, I'm doing air quotes that no one can see. Let me hold my fingers closer to the microphone.
I do that all the time. You ever when you're doing a voiceover, you get you have something in quotes and then you do the air quotes.
Right.
It's like you can hear the air quotes.
So the last Star Wars movie, Laura Dern was in, and she's a phenomenal actress. I like her a lot. She was also in she was in season 3 of Twin Peaks. Very like she's, how do I put this? She's cutish. Like, she's not overwhelmingly attractive, but I also wouldn't kick her out.
Right.
So Laura Dern is number 2 on my list of favorite Lauras.
Okay.
Right.
So that England, Croatia, that moved up. Now it's the top 3 trends.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that change, or did you refresh it?
I did not refresh it. It changed probably while we were in a song break or something.
Huh.
That the other browser up.
Well, because it's crazy. Like, I can't. It's inconceivable that Croatia. To me, but I mean, I don't know that much about soccer. Maybe Croatia's like the best soccer team ever. But like, to me, I can't believe that Croatia has. Can't believe that Croatia has a country. I can't believe that the country of Croatia has a soccer team, and I can't believe that the soccer team from the country of Croatia would beat England, which I'm pretty sure invented soccer at the same time Jesus was born.
You might be right. I am not familiar with the history of soccer either.
I'm really not, but I feel like it was invented in England.
Eventually, one of us will get a voiceover and we'll learn about the history of soccer. I'm sure.
No doubt.
I mean, you learn a lot of stuff in our line of work.
Did you happen to see the video or the GIF of England's first goal from this game?
No.
So England scored a goal. I'm going to assume it was the first goal of the game. And the entire crowd like just jumped up and down and beer flew everywhere. There was just a shower of beer. And someone's like, that's $10,000 worth of beer that England just poured out because they were excited about their goal. So, yeah.
I am, but yeah, I'm also surprised that England lost. I also played soccer for a little while when I was in middle school.
Really?
I played like a season, yeah. My cousin went on to play all through high school, but I still don't know a damn thing about soccer.
Well, it's pretty simple. There's a ball.
Yes.
You got to put it in the net.
Okay.
You can't touch it with your hands.
Ah.
So.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of difficult because you have to keep your hands off your balls, which can be rough.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty rough.
Yeah. So there's that.
But yeah, yeah.
So that's the big news of today. Now, the big news yesterday, I just thought was incredible. Because I'm going to be honest with you, Joe. Now, my 2018 personally has been pretty decent. I've had a good year. The world has not.
Sure.
2018 has been kind of a shit show.
I agree.
But yesterday, for possibly the first time this year, there was good news. The kids in Thailand.
I have been holed up in my studio. I have no idea what you're even talking about.
You really have no idea.
I don't.
Wow. All right. So
that's how busy I was yesterday.
So about 2 weeks ago, this soccer team from Thailand, a bunch of kids and their coach, 12 kids, one coach, went missing.
Huh.
A week ago, they found them in this cave. But the cave was flooded. There was no way for the kids to get out.
Huh.
So they're like, it might take us months to get these kids out. Meanwhile, it's monsoon season, and they're worried about the cave completely flooding.
Right.
So this dude goes in to, like, bring them oxygen and food, I think.
Okay.
And he drowned. Like, Navy SEAL going in to, like, deliver supplies to these kids.
Jeez.
And he drowns. So now, it's going to take forever. They might die anyway. And, like, the dude who knows how to, like, do this couldn't do it because it's so tough. But yesterday, they, one by one, saved all 12 kids and the coach.
Oh, damn. That's good news.
It was like, it was one of those you'll remember where you were moments. And obviously you'll remember that you were in a cave.
Yeah,
which is weird. It is
might
weird.
As well a bit.
But it is weird that, yeah, that's what you said. You said, I've been in a cave. Meanwhile, these kids were in a cave. But they were all saved. It was the coolest thing. It was like, yes, good news. So there's that.
Good. I'm glad when there's good news.
Now to counteract that.
Right, of course.
They killed the bear.
I heard. That I heard about.
Yeah.
Because when I said, hey, what's going on in the world? Somebody said they shot the bear and one of the Buffalo Bills was in trouble or something like that.
Yeah. I don't really care about the Buffalo Bill thing. Like, I don't have enough information to everybody seems to have decided ahead of time that Shady is guilty of whatever he's accused of. And
Sure.
I don't entirely know even what he's accused of, because originally I had heard that he was accused of beating up his girlfriend. Then he was accused of paying someone else to beat up his girlfriend. I have no idea. What I do know is that these accusations came out yesterday. Right. And apparently people already want to hang him or castrate him or whatever it is you do to wife beaters or girlfriend beaters. I am all for due process. Yeah. I say let's see what really happened. Sure. Before we make that decision. But so the bear was shot and killed, euthanized is how they refer to it, because I guess they were afraid he wasn't going to make it because he was hit by a car. I don't entirely know. What I do know is that, like, as I've already mentioned, this year has been a shit show. Yes. Like kids in cages, like all sorts of crazy shit. Meanwhile, a bear, and not actually the bear, but the Amherst Bear on Twitter. Do you follow the Amherst Bear on Twitter?
No, I don't. I didn't know he had an account.
On Twitter, there is @the Amherst Bear. And he's been saying things for years, but he always speaks up a little bit more when there's bear sightings. Right. He got into like a fight with some radio station because they were trying to name the Amherst Bear. And he's like, my name is the Amherst Bear. You don't just get to name me. Yeah, right. Anyway, so the account's kind of cute. It's kind of funny. So they killed the bear, and the Amherst Bear posts, and I'm paraphrasing here, be good to each other, cooperate, communicate, goodbye. Dude, I literally cried. Because a dude that's pretending to be a bear on Twitter posted something about this bear that had gotten euthanized. It was just, like, sometimes you get to the point where you just can't anymore. Yeah. Like all of the emotions that I've been holding in, like they're there, and all it takes is for somebody on Twitter to say goodbye, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. So yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't aware there was an account. I did hear that the bear got shot. I was disappointed to hear that the bear got shot, but if it was a humane thing because he was injured, that is my understanding. I can understand that. That is my understanding, is that they were doing it for the bear's. It wasn't like Harambe. It wasn't like Harambe, where it was like, oh, you're this idiot parent let their kids out of their sight, and the bear, the monkey's trying to protect him or whatever, like right. Like, so let's shoot the monkey who's trying to protect this kid because the mother won't fucking do it, Right. But I was not aware that the bear was in any way harmed prior to that, so that changes my outlook a little bit. As I was. You were angered. I was angered because I was angered. I was angered too at first, but then I read a little bit more into it. Although I still haven't read everything. Right. Like to my knowledge, the bear was just wandering around, hadn't hurt anybody. Right. It got hit by a car. Like, God damn it For throwing in a reference to our fellow All WNY show. But yeah, so as far as I knew, like I just thought, like,
oh, those fucking dicks shot the bear.
Right, yeah. Now, I don't know how many bears there are, because I feel like there's more than one bear.
Sure.
Because, like, that bear was in Amherst and then North Tonawanda, and then, like, the next day it was in Wilson. Dude, I couldn't walk from North Tonawanda to Wilson, and I'm not a bear. I feel like bears don't walk as fast as we do.
You may be right.
So I feel like there are more than one bear, or there are, like, wormholes. I guess they would be bear holes, actually.
Sure. It's possible.
Yeah.
So now, did you want to give another one of your Lauras before we hit the song break?
Yeah, let me give number 3 real quick.
You get the other 2 in the next half hour.
Yeah, let me give number 3 real quick, because I do think that it's important that, you know, people find out who my top 5 favorite Lauras are.
I agree. I don't even think she's listening because she hasn't tweeted through the whole show.
That's okay. She'll listen later, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe she's not listening because she's afraid that she's not one of my favorite Lauras.
I'm counting on that. I'm curious. I'm interested. So
there was Laura Palmer.
Sure.
Laura Dern.
Sure.
Laura Bush.
Okay.
Now, when the Bushes were in the White House, and this can be said for both Bush families, Papa Bush and Baby Bush.
Sure.
I didn't like them.
Right.
I kind of love them now. Like, somehow or another, they've been changed into like these gentle elder statesmen.
I agree.
And so I like the Bush family. That said, I always kind of liked Laura Bush.
Sure.
Because even when her husband, George W. Bush, was president, and I didn't like him at all, I always felt her to be softer, kinder, kind of like I thought Melania was until recently. But like, so I always kind of liked Laura Bush, but lately I really like Laura Bush. So my number 3 favorite Laura Bush.
Interesting choice. I don't disagree with that one, honestly. All right, so let's. This is a band out of Rochester. I first caught them. No, actually, they're out of Syracuse. And I first caught them in Rochester at a show by a band called the Interrupters, who Karina and I are. That's the one band we are like going to take off from the podcast to see next on the 25th when we do the Struggle is Warped podcast all day from Van's Warped Tour at Darien Lake. This band is playing on is also playing on Warped Tour on the WNY corner stage. So we're looking forward to getting to talk with them for a little bit afterwards as well. This is a band called Lucky 33, and this song is called Cursed on All WNY Radio, the ThinkSoJoe Show.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Take the
Lucky 33, All WNY Radio, ThinkSoJoe Show. Catch them on the not the All WNY, but the WNY corner stage at Warped Tour, where All WNY will be nearby.
See, I just think we should just do All WNY everything.
It should
Although
be.
Whenever I'm not around you, it's just all Western New York. But you call it WNY.
It was easier to say All WNY Radio than All Western New York Radio, and then you changed it to like All WNY News and Radios. It's like, all right.
And then I simplified it. Now it's just all Western New York.
Now it's all Western New York, but I still am so used to saying All WNY.
But like, all right, so I know I've mentioned this. We have like a group chat with like all of the all Western New York contributors.
Sure.
I want to have a meeting. I want to have pizza and beer.
Okay.
And just sit around and like talk about shit that people want to do and figure out how we can make it happen and how we can make it part of the all Western New York umbrella.
I couldn't agree more.
Like, so we've got radio, we've got news, do we have awards? There used to be this thing called All Western New York Awards.
And like we've gotten halfway through them, then I got super busy and Karina was working all the time and and I'm still super busy and now like they're just sitting there.
Yeah. Maybe we'll give them to Corey?
Yeah, I can send him what I've got so far. If
cool. So do you want to pay him or how's that going to work?
We'll figure that out. We'll talk. That's right. You did pay me for that work that I never finished. Lots of people. I'll put it out there that I do have a few people that I still owe work. You being one of them.
There's all Western New York deals. Like I want to do like all Western New York other things. Like obviously one of the biggest things in Western New York lately is T-shirts. I feel like everybody makes T-shirts.
Sure.
Why not all Western New York T-shirts?
Especially since 3 of your podcasts are like in the process of making T-shirts.
Right. So like maybe you guys need to all make like your own T-shirt designs and we could sell them all online under all Western New York T-shirts.
Sure.
And you can like not just make T-shirts for your shows, but you could make T-shirts with like other things on. Like I don't really know. Like I know that like all Western New York is so simple. Like it is a 6-letter URL.
Yeah.
Like
it's wonderful. And it like we were doing like All WNY Presents on flyers, which I need to make one for the Yellow Sauce show before the XM Priory show.
Right.
So that's I'm just waiting for some artwork from Yellow Sauce.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's nice to just have All WNY.
And then you can add anything you want after it and just make it all part of the umbrella.
Which is great.
So basically just like I feel like most of the contributors we're all doers. Like we are totally all people that like we all have 10 irons and 10 different fires all doing a whole bunch of shit all at once.
I don't disagree.
And like the idea of just having like the support network where we could all just like help each other with shit. I don't know, just an idea.
I agree 100%. You are absolutely right. I like working with Dennis and Ryan over the past like month, working towards this Warped Tour thing. It's been like, holy crap, these guys are particularly Ryan is driven. He's well organized and just like
really not that Ryan's not driven, but I've always felt like Dennis is really the one. He's very particular. He's very
yes.
We'll just stick with particular because that's a nice way to put it.
You're absolutely right. Dennis is he's a hardworking guy. He's not.
But they're both geniuses. Like, and they're both incredible assets to the All West New York family.
I see, like as a team, like Dennis is like the perfectionist, and Ryan is the guy who's like, let's do this, and Dennis is like, okay, yes, let's do that, but let's do it this way.
Right.
And it works for them.
Yeah.
I know Ryan is always excited when he gets asked to do the ThinkSoJoe show because he gets to come in and just like rant. He doesn't have to like.
So did you have the pair of them on the show? Is that how?
I have had the pair of them on the show a couple of times. We've had Ryan on
because one of them or the other like said to me afterwards, they're like, it wasn't scripted. like it was really confusing to them that like you would just throw the microphone on and talk about things.
We had both of them on last summer. They did one of the episodes with the Blue Yeti out on the porch.
Right.
So we've had both of them on. Ryan has been back a few times now. He did a show a few weeks ago with Meredith Snow as the other co-host, which was Meredith Snow's first time actually doing anything of the sort.
Really?
Yes, if you can believe that. So
I kind of can't, because she kind of seems like she'd be natural.
She was on. She was nervous. She got more and more drunk as the show went on.
Awesome.
which was fine, you know.
So are you not drinking right now? Like, what's going on? Because I offered to bring beer, and he's like, no, I'm good.
So the last time I actually drank, aside from like champagne at New Year's, was at our September show last year. It was weird. Like, you gave me a cup of beer out of your pitcher.
Right.
And I took the drink, and I was really fucking buzzed after one beer. And I'm like, something's wrong. Like, and I think it's like, because my teeth are kind of fucked up, so I think like there's maybe an open wound in there somewhere.
Uh-huh.
So the alcohol just goes straight into my bloodstream now.
Oh.
So it's like, oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Huh.
So I have not had, aside from the champagne at New Year's, a sip of alcohol since our September show last year.
Wow.
And, you know, I was never a big drinker to begin with. I really, like, I never got into drinking until I got into a band. And my guitar player at the time, who happens to be a member of XM Priory, Luke, he was like, dude, drink this. Like, no, it's okay, man. I don't like the taste of beer. He's like, it's beer. You're not supposed to like the taste of it. Like, well, you know.
See, now I disagree.
I can't argue with that logic. And so then I was drinking. And like, I have been like on and off with drinking, for the past decade or so. I mean, like, the night of my 21st birthday, like like at midnight, I was at Walmart, I was at Wegmans buying alcohol. Like, as soon as I was able to. But I've never been a huge drinker, so it's nothing for me to be able to go to a show or, you know, just go into a bar. Like, I feel bad because, like, when I'm at Nietzsche's, because that bartender is always walking around like, hey, can I get you anything? Like, no, I'm sorry, I got to work after I get out of here, you know, or something, you know, like some excuse why I'm not drinking. But now I just don't drink. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm fine with not drinking. If I never, aside from like champagne at New Year's or whatever, or at a wedding or something like that, you know, like, if I never drink again, I'm fine with that. Right. So it's not that I'm not drinking; it's that I'm not usually drinking.
Right. So yeah, so I had offered to bring beer, and you're like, "No, that's okay." So then I'm like, "Oh, fine, well, like Karina and I'll drink." And then she's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, you know what? Screw all you people." Because I don't want to drink alone, because that looks like, you know.
Well, she was scheduled to work tonight, so that's why you're here. Is because I asked you. As soon as she found out, I said, hey, are you free Wednesday? And you're like, yeah, I think I can do that. I'm like, you're actually free on a Wednesday? And you're like, yeah. Like, I was not expecting a yes, because I knew how busy your schedule has been, particularly Tuesdays into Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So, like, and you're saying you'd been working like every Tuesday night and every Wednesday morning. Right. And I used to, at the place I worked previously, prior to the hotel that you're at now, I used to work Thursday overnight. No, what was it? It was Friday overnight, Saturday 3 to 11, Sunday 7 to 3, every weekend.
Yeah, that'd suck.
That was, so I would work for 8 hours, go home for 8 hours, work for 8 hours, go home for 8 hours, and work for 8 hours. And it wasn't so bad the Sunday mornings. Right. Everybody was cool. Everybody was like getting ready to check out or whatever. We actually had a restaurant, so like they would bring me breakfast every Sunday morning.
That's nice.
And like it was during football season. So the Bills games were always on the TV, which was where I, you know, realized like how much it must suck to be a Bills fan. And you know, and that's not saying like, oh, you know, I'm a Niners fan, we're better than you because we won 5 Super Bowls and you guys have only been to 4 and you lost all of them. But you know, it's more of like, it's more of sitting there, and I think this was probably around the time like Terrell Owens was on the team. Right. And I hated Terrell Owens anyway. But he joined the Bills, and I'm sitting there. Everybody is so excited. Everybody's got their T-shirts. Let's get your popcorn ready, right? Everybody's so excited. This is our year because we've got T.O. And I'm just sitting here like, you guys do this every off season. You sign one big player. This is our year because we've got this guy. You know, like it was Mario Williams a few years ago, right? Like, okay. All right, cool. I appreciate having faith in your team because I'm sitting here like, I can't wait for hockey season. We got Rasmus Dahlin. We're going to do so good. And I know I'm setting myself up for disappointment, but I'm sitting there and watching a game, and it's December, and the Bills are losing to Miami. And the Bills, when I was younger, never fucking lost to Miami. Ever. The Bills would always beat the Dolphins when I was a kid. So, like, I'm sitting there watching them lose to Miami, and it's a home game, and it's freezing cold temperatures out, and there's these guys out there painted up in, blue and red, no shirts on or whatever.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there like, man, like, how bad does it suck? You have this huge off-season acquisition. They make it seem like it's the biggest thing in the world. This is the guy that's going to turn this franchise around, and we're going to make the playoffs this year, and we're going to do so well. And then you go and you're convinced, like, okay, I'm going to keep my season tickets. I'm going to go and I'm going to root them on every single game, no matter what, and then it's mid-December, you're outside in no shirt, freezing your ass off, watching them lose to fucking Miami. How bad does that gotta suck?
Yeah.
I don't know from personal experience, and believe me, I've had some rough years as a 49ers fan. I'm not saying that, Buffalo had a better record last season. Buffalo had a better record 2 seasons ago. Buffalo beat San Francisco the last time they played. All right? I'll give you all that. It sucks being a football fan sometimes, but it also, at least I can be like, hey, you guys remember when Joe Montana led the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history and won the, beat the Cincinnati Bengals? I've at least got that. You guys don't even have that. You guys have like, hey, you remember when we made the Super Bowl 4 times?
So let me see if I can sum this up. Joe Kent, born and raised in Western New York.
Yes.
Has decided to pick some other football team because he feels that they're better because they've won more games that he thinks are crucial. So Joe has found himself a better football team than our own Buffalo Bills. And
can we be fair here? It's not that hard.
That's fair. That's fair. I also feel like, oh, hey, it's not that hard to just decide, oh, I like New England now. New England is my favorite team. They're the best team ever. Hey, guess what? Compared to New England, your 49ers suck.
Okay, fair enough, but...
By the way, I don't like New England.
Right.
Or the 49ers. And
but
for that matter,
the
Bills.
I've been a fan of the 49ers since I was a kid. I got into them in, like, grade school because one of my friends in grade school was a fan. And I'm like, oh,
you know what I got into in grade school? Paste.
Why doesn't that surprise me? But anyway, so I got into the Niners, like, way back when. And, like, I've stuck with them. It's not like I'm sitting here bandwagon jumping. You know what I mean?
All right,
like,
so
I'm a lifelong 49ers fan.
On that, there's nothing wrong with being on a bandwagon. Nothing at all. So, as you've mentioned, the Bills have sucked for decades. They finally made the playoffs this last year.
They did. We were at Stamps when it happened, or at least, I don't know if you were there yet.
Yeah,
I was there.
No, I wasn't. I was at Mooney's. Anyway, so the Bills have sucked for forever, basically. I have always felt like the team, not the players, but the front office, the management, the ownership, were perfectly content with sucking because they're still making millions every year.
Sure.
So I decided, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, that I will put an effort into being a Bills fan when the Bills team puts an effort into being a football team.
That is fair enough.
And the fact that they made the playoffs last year is a complete fluke. So I am not yet on the bandwagon again. But if they try and if they win and if they give me a reason to love them, I'll love them. But until then, like, why would you continue to love and support something that treats you like shit?
No, exactly. I mean, at least, have the Bills issued apologies for how bad their seasons have been?
I don't think so.
Okay. So let me just put this out there that Jed York has issued apologies for how bad the 49ers have been in recent years. Like, he will tweet from his personal account and also on the 49ers account, and he will tweet and say, this is unacceptable. We feel awful, not just for us, but for you, the fans, and we are going to do whatever we can to turn it around and make it better. And the Niners didn't make the playoffs last year, sure, but they won their last 6 games, so it's promising going into this season. So I'm for once actually looking.
You sound like a Bills fan.
I do sound like I do sound like a Bills fan, but usually the Bills haven't won 6 games in a row. So, all right, so apparently my screensaver's at 15 minutes, not half an hour. But anyway, you're doing something, and then I will let you continue your list of your favorite Lauras because you've gotten through 3.
I've gotten through 3, and I got to give you 2 more.
You do, and we've got about 7 minutes left before we're going to hit our last song.
All right. No explanation to this one. Laura Vandervoort.
Okay. I'll allow it.
If you don't know, just Google it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Laura number 4 is Laura Vandervoort.
I'll accept that.
Completely fair enough. Now, I thought about how to do this. You know, whether it's better for me to have Lady Laura Moore, at Lady Laura Moore on Twitter, who, by the way, I'm not entirely sure her name is actually Laura.
I don't believe it is, honestly.
I'm not entirely sure she's a lady. Or a woman, for that matter. None of these things matter to me. But I've been trying to decide, is it better for me to have her one of my favorite Lauras or not? So I'm looking at this list of Lauras, and I'm like, oh, I like that Laura. I like that Laura. But I'm going to be honest. She is one of my 5 favorite Lauras.
Well, I'll be damned.
My 5th favorite Laura. Just because I enjoy banter, I enjoy her witticism, and frankly, I enjoy when she roasts your balls, which she does all the time, is at Lady Laura Moore, formerly of, was she from like Tennessee?
Yeah.
Formerly of Tennessee, now living in somewhere in England, and constant critic of the ThinkSoJoe Show, is my 5th and final favorite Laura.
I'll be down. I am surprised, especially because I saw when you got in here, you had a picture of Laura Prepon up on your phone.
Yeah, I like her too.
Yeah.
That
would be one of my 5 favorite Lauras.
There was going to be one hot Laura. That I decided. There was going to be one hot Laura. I just wasn't sure which one. But yeah, no, I like her too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Laura Vandervoort, I'm in. I mean, I'd like to be in. Probably not gonna.
I signed up for Netflix this morning, and I'm scrolling. It's like, pick 3 things you like off of this, and I'm like, well, there's Orange is the New Black. And she is the main reason that I was into that show to begin with.
Right.
So that's how I was introduced to that show. Was you'd like Orange is the New Black? Donna from that '70s show is when you see her boobs.
Right.
Like, yes, I would be very interested in watching that.
Yeah. I've always been a fan of hers. And she was, potential, but yeah. I was introduced to Orange is the New Black, in a very unique manner that is not fit for telling on radio.
Ha!
Not fit for telling on internet radio.
That is okay then.
Yeah. One of these days I will tell you, while I am drinking a beer, you can drink whatever you want.
Right.
But I'll drink a beer while I tell you the story of how I was introduced to Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, I literally was told, you'd like this show because Donna from that 70s show is in it. She plays a lesbian and she gets naked. Like, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, I think that's a good reason to like a show, really.
That is all I need to know, and I will be right on this. I was scrolling through like the free movies on like Vudu and like the Roku channel and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't watch any of those.
No, I typically don't either, but I was just looking for something to fall asleep to. And I've noticed like the further you scroll down, the less clothes the women are wearing on the box art. And I'm like, where the fuck were all these movies with naked women on the box art, that are free to watch when I was single? Like, what the fuck?
Hold on, wait. I just want to make sure that I understand this. One of the rules of your relationship is that you can't look at other naked women?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. I was gonna say that would be problematic for me. I can understand you can't bring them home.
That had been problematic in previous relationships, and therefore it is a prerequisite.
Oh,
that it is not a problem.
All right, no, I get that. All right, so I had one of those too. I understand completely.
It's more of like I don't need to watch this stuff now. Whereas if I was single, like that would have came in handy.
Huh.
Quite literally.
Nobody likes a braggart, you fuck.
Quite literally, that would have came in handy. Anyway.
Oh, dear God.
You don't get naked male asses. Well, you got one. You don't get a series of naked male asses. But
So does
you
he
get that?
send you naked male? Like,
Yes, every single week. Every single week.
Huh.
Like, if I open this in Messenger,
No.
the entire bottom of the screen
Not
is just
necessary.
going to be bare male asses.
Yeah, no. Not something that you need to do.
I will spare you.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, no. So
I mean, I have Google. I can find my own naked male asses if I want to.
You get spared the naked male asses. You just get a bad masturbation joke instead. So it's a fair trade, I think. I think you upgraded.
Yeah. 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Yes, exactly. We had like it's always fun when we have guests on because it's like, okay, dude, like there's gonna be a guy. And he's going to be sending all these naked male asses and asking you to rate them. Just play along. And then, so it's like...
I was excited because Joe's like, yeah, so Karina's going to make you dinner. And I'm like, man.
She fully intended to make you dinner.
But like, I was... Here's the thing. I don't often get cute girls to make me dinner.
Sure.
So I was really excited about this.
I apologize that it didn't happen.
Sorry.
She got asked to go into work earlier, and then she wasn't feeling well, ended up coming home almost as soon as she got to work.
So I almost said, well, what's Allison doing? She could make me dinner. But decided I better not say that. And yet, now I've said it.
Now you've said it on the air. Now it's out there.
Now it's out there.
Whether Allison actually tunes
Probably
in on a regular basis, I'm not sure. I know she used to listen regularly. I don't know if she still does.
Right.
But if she does, that's out there now.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's out there. We're trying to convince her to take us to Syracuse to see Nonpoint.
Cool.
Also for her to see Nonpoint, because she also loves Nonpoint.
Right.
I'm trying to go see Psycho Stick at Montage in Rochester.
Love Montage.
I love Psycho Stick and Montage.
I'm unfamiliar with Psycho Stick.
Psycho Stick is like a comedy metal band.
Gotcha.
We were actually listening to them earlier on today. We were sitting in the dining room like, hey, first of all, I had been listening
Isn't
to
that
like
Steel Panther?
Steel Panther is a comedy hair metal band.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, that's anyway. But we're sitting in the dining room, and I had been listening to like 80s pop rock hits, and I was like, I really want to listen to Danger Zone. So I put on Danger Zone, and I'm like, I really want to hear a heavier version of Danger Zone. So I put on Psycho Stick's cover of Danger Zone, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep listening to Psycho Stick, who are just this incredibly talented band who sing about shit about like not wanting to have a job or not wanting to see your stupid social media posts, shit like that. So like they're a really cool band.
I feel them there, man.
I'm a fan, and I like this opportunity has finally arisen where I might actually get to see them. Now, speaking of seeing bands, this is one of my favorite bands to see. I haven't seen them in quite a while, and I'm trying to convince them to play an upcoming All WNY show. It is the Barksdales. We're going to end with a song called, here's Voices from the Barksdales on All WNY Radio, ThinkSoJoe Show. I'll see you next week.
Good night.